What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with a bit of a mixed bag of content to round up inside of this video. But basically we're going to round up some of the content in the game this week, the quest to save Saint 14, and so we'll talk about some of the locations for that, some of the items you have to pick up, and generally how to get that quest done nice and quickly. On top of this though, we have the arrival of 2 new obelisks into the game, and so there is a kind of brief quest for each of those to unlock them. We'll talk very briefly about the Dawn in this year, and we'll round up a little bit of the story stuff from inside of the Saint 14 quest. So guys, as always, I hope you find the video useful, but without further delay, let's get straight into it. One of the first things to talk about really would be the new obelisks that we've got in the game. So when you visit Osiris, he will have a quest to unlock each of the obelisks. We've got one for Nessus and one for the European Dead Zone. And for the Nessus obelisk, you need to get Vex kills. We kind of just roamed around in the Tangle on Nessus, anywhere where you'll get a lot of Vex spawning. Things like Lost Sectors as well are pretty useful. I ran through the Tangle Lost Sector a couple of times. That'll give you the Vex kills, then you return to the obelisk to charge it up. It'll give you another step where you need to get ability kills on Vex. And so basically I did the exact same thing in the Tangle Lost Sector. I was getting a bunch of melee kills with the Worm Gods. A couple of runs through here with melees, grenades, and supers will get these done. This is going to unlock the Nessus obelisk, and here you can get the Patron of Lost Causes. That's the new Saint 14 themed scout rifle, but also on the Nessus obelisk you can ultimately unlock Traveler's Judgment 5 and the Jack Queen King 3, as well of course as some new mods, so you can either check those out in game, or if you want a little bit of information about the potential weapon rolls, all of the perks and unlocks for these obelisks, I will link my full Sundial and Obelisk loot table down below. It's going to be a similar situation for the European Dead Zone obelisk though. You need to get Cabal kills, and so Firebase Hades in the European Dead Zone is a really good one. If you look at the map on the left hand side, there is the Lost Sector here. I ran through a couple of times, got the kills, then you'll need to go and charge the obelisk up. Once again, the second step will require ability kills, so pretty much repeat what we did for Nessus, and then you can return to the obelisk. There is a bit of a bug though to be aware of right here. If you can't interact with the European Dead Zone obelisk, currently it's recommended that you sign out and change character or restart the game, and you should be able to interact with it. Having said that, I personally still cannot interact with it, and I've restarted the game a bunch of times, so hopefully the problem won't be quite as persistent for you. A sign out and a return to the obelisk should allow you to access it. And so for the EDZ obelisk, once you manage to open it up, we've got the Gallant Charge. This is the fusion rifle from the Saint 14 set, but you can also get Infinite Paths 8 and Last Perdition via some of the Time Lost weapon bounties, and once again mods. So if you want to check that loot table out, I'll link that video down below. Now though, let's talk about the Saint 14 quest, because there are a few different objectives. And initially you'll pick up a quest called Completing an Impossible Task, and this will come from Osiris. You'll need to plant transponders at various different locations on Nessus. The first one is really easy if you go to Watcher's Grave. You can see where it's located on the map right here. So with the golden barge over there, right in the corner under this ledge, you'll find the first transponder. You can see the second one is in an area called Chamber of Water. And if you once again are in Watcher's Grave, nearby to the ship you'll find the Vex portal right here. If you head through and literally keep going until you're in the location where you can see the transponder on the map, you'll find this one underground. That's one of the trickier ones to find. There is one in the Tangle, which has proven a little bit tricky for players. And for this one, basically, if you're in the Tangle, the area where you would head into the old inside terminus strike, go through the door underground in this crevice right here, and then continue to head through the strike through various different rooms. And eventually, as you can see, if you keep your eye on the map, once you're underground, you'll be able to find the location of the next transponder. The final couple are a little bit easier, so we've got the Cistern. From here you literally spawn in, head all the way out into the lake, and just over the waterfall on this middle rock right here, you'll see the transponder. There is one in the Hallows, and if you spawn in Artifact's Edge, head towards the Hallows on the map, head underground, you'll find that this transponder is up on one of these ledges. The final one is in Exodus Black right here, right next to the spawn location, on top of one of these kind of tall rock mounds, you can see the final transponder. With all of the transponders done, you need to find Saint 14's ghost. And basically, to do this, you head to the Cistern on Nessus. From the teleport point right here, if you go to the right-hand side, this is actually where you went for one of the missions with Cade 6 back in the vanilla story, head through to the room filled with enemies, and you'll actually get a marker on the map. You need to activate a conflux, and then it'll give you an indicator to head through a portal. Basically, head through there, and you'll find Saint's ghost in amongst a bunch of dead Vex. Once you've done this, you need to head back to Osiris, and he's going to give you another step for the quest where you need to defeat Guardians inside of Crucible or Gambit. And so there's no real way around this. You either have to do it inside of that Gambit mode or head into the Crucible, and obviously going into PvP is definitely going to give you those kills fastest. You'll also need to generate Orbs of Light and get super ability kills. And to finish these off, if you have any after you've done the PvP stuff, it's probably easiest to go to the European Dead Zone or somewhere that has a bunch of different public events, rally the flag, head into a nearby lost sector, and maybe do that a couple of times until you've got all those super ability kills. Once you've done this, there will be a mission for Corridors of Time Part 2, and so basically this works very similar to how the first one worked. You head through a bunch of different kind of rooms, and it does culminate in some pretty cool dialogue with Saint 14. You fight a bunch of enemies and a couple of different bosses. There is a mechanic inside of this mission right here. We need to take down the big minotaurs. They'll drop orbs of light that you then need to deposit into wells that are kind of indicated around the room. Pretty basic stuff. And it will end with a final kind of cutscene or a bit of content with Saint 14. But then when you head back through and visit Osiris, that is essentially the end of the quest for now. And so spoiler alert right here, if you're wondering what to kind of expect from this is part 2 in that Corridors of Time kind of story piece. Obviously we've gone through and saved Saint 14. We know that he's going to be coming back to the tower as a vendor, and so it looks like we're going to have to wait a little bit longer until that actually happens. Perhaps in the next week or so, but essentially if you get all of this done, you're going to be up to date with this week's kind of story progression, and that means whatever we get next week is something that you'll be ready to kind of work on. So let us know your thoughts about that, and especially this story stuff. Also check out the end of the video if you want to see a short cutscene from Saint 14. But the other main thing for today would of course be the Dawning. And it really is pretty basic in terms of how it works. Initially, you visit Eva Levante, and she'll give you a record book for the Dawning, as well as Eva's holiday oven. And to get your first kind of reward from the holiday oven, you will need to open it up, apply ether cane, then add the delicious explosion ingredient that she's given you, and finally bake it with essence of Dawning. This will give you Galadoodles that you can give to Zavala. And I'm not sure if it's 100% guaranteed, but pretty much everyone I've spoken to has got the Cold Front SMG when turning that into Zavala and then opening the gift in return container package. So that does seem to be a reliable way to get that weapon, but of course otherwise you have to open other packages and hunt down some of the materials and stuff that you need for the various different vendors. Eva's also going to give you a quest for the exotic Sparrow, and for this you need to bake specific gifts for specific vendors, so we'll figure that out over the course of the event. But once you've done the kind of initial gift package, Eva will be offering bounties that you can pick up, and these are going to be really useful for farming XP, especially when you look at how kind of universal they are. Recently I did make a video about farming XP in the game. If you check that out and bear in mind the tips inside of that video, picking up Vanguard, Gunsmith and Moon bounties, and then farming in Altars of Sorrow, you can actually do that with these Dawning bounties, and importantly, they offer double XP, which is really cool, so definitely don't sleep on those. But for today, with everything we've kind of seen in the game, that's sort of a brief roundup of the bulk of the content that you really want to know about. So let us know what you think, guys, and I hope the video has been useful. I know it's a bit of a different one, but we're kind of reacting to whatever Bungie are dropping in the game as they do it. So if you have enjoyed the video, a rating below is very much appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to get subscribed so I can keep you up to date with everything related to the game. Otherwise though, thank you as always for tuning in, and whatever you get up to, I hope you have an awesome day.
Now where are we? Let's see. Topographical readouts match near-present Mercury. This is before I found you. And after Saint 14 launched his last mission to find Osiris.
Guardian, you're back. Just in time. I was about to send my ghost away. I'm afraid that Martyrmind has taken my light. But now that you're here, please rest. My name is Saint 14. They call me the greatest titan who ever lived. But I would be dead if not for you. Since the day I met you, I swore I would make it my duty to follow your example. I'm still trying.